Hey guys, in today's video I will talk about Navia's kit and her constellations and basically everything that we know about her so far, and I had this info for a few days to be honest, but I wanted to make sure it's not going to change drastically before I made a video about it. So I was being careful, and unfortunately I can't show any gameplay footage of her, but just know that she's really interesting because I'm sure you'll find it somewhere else, because Hoya wouldn't like it if I showed it in my videos, unless if it's in a member only video or something like that, but I digress. Now let's start the video by talking about her elemental skill, and before I do that, here's what you should know about her skill, which is picking up shards created from crystallization reactions could give Navia one stack of Fisher Crystal shard. A total of 6 shards can be stacked, with each new shard refreshing the duration of all existing stacks up to 300 seconds. It is also suggested that Navia has 2 versions of elemental skill. Here's a quick overview. When you press the skill, she could consume all Fisher Crystal shards to fire multiple Rose Crystal bullets, which are capable of dealing a massive amounts of damage to enemies, and consuming 0, 1, 2, and 3 shards could shoot out 5, 7, 9, and 11 Rose Crystal bullets respectively. And when you hold this skill, on the other hand, switch to aim mode and collect nearby shards summoned by Crystallize, and exiting the aim mode will release the same Rose Crystal bullets as the press version, alongside with the additional arc. It is also worth mentioning that the damage dealt to an enemy could increase with the number of Rose Crystal bullets that strikes it. If all 11 Rose Crystal bullets are shot at an enemy, it will possibly deal 200% damage. Furthermore, each Fisher Crystal shard consumed after the 3rd stack could likely increase the damage of each Rose Crystal bullet by 15%. Now let's talk about her elemental burst. Firstly, it costs 60 energy and it has a 15-second cooldown with a duration of 12 seconds, so the uptime is pretty good. It's pretty much an artillery barrage that deals AoE geo damage to enemies, and it continuously attacks for that 12 seconds that I mentioned, so it can work to support Navia to deal more damage. Also, we already know the detail of 2 of her passive talents. Talent number 1. Elemental skill increases damage dealt by 40% for 4 seconds as damage dealt converts to unenchantable geo damage. As for talent 2, Navia's attack increases by 20% for each party member whose element is Pyro, Hydro, Electro, and Cryo, pretty much all the elements that can trigger crystallized reactions, and the attack can be increased by up to 40% when this effect is stacked twice. Both of these passive talents are great to increase her personal damage, but it doesn't seem like it will have any supporting capabilities. Now let's talk about her constellations if you're interested in getting multiple copies of her, or maybe you're just interested to know. Starting off with C1, each stack of Crystal Sharpnel consumed by Navia will restore 2 energy for her and decreases the cooldown of her burst by 1 second. A maximum of 6 energy and -3 seconds can be gained through this method. As for C2, it increases the critical rate of her elemental skill by 8% for each Crystal Sharpnel stack consumed, up to 24%. After Rosola Shard Shot hits an enemy, a Golden Rose Salute Shot will hit the immediate area, dealing burst damage, and only 1 shot can be triggered per skill used. Her C3 is a standard, increasing the level of her skill by 3 levels, and for C4, enemies hit by her elemental burst will have their geo resistance reduced by 20% for 8 seconds. Her C5, once again a standard one, it will increase the level of her burst by 3 levels. Lastly, for her C6, each Crystal Sharpnel stack above 3 consumed by Navia will increase the crit damage of her skill by 35%, as well as return to her at the end of her skill. Next up, as we all know, there will be a new artifact set that is going to be really good for Navia. At least that is what we are hoping for based on her kit compatibility with 4-piece description of this set. Now, as far as the 2-piece effect of this artifact goes, it is expected to provide users with plus 18% attack bonus, which is similar to a few different artifacts, and the interesting part for Navia is the 4-piece effect. The 4-piece effect will give 16% geo damage bonus after the character equipping this set uses their elemental skill. Furthermore, if the user picks up a crystallized shield, the previous effect will be increased by 150%, resulting in a total of 40% geo damage bonus, so it sounds like a good set for her. But if the information of this artifact changes, I will make an updated video about it as soon as I can. And lastly for this video, I wanted to talk about her weapon, that is going to have 674 base attack with 22.1 1% crit rate, and the passive of this weapon was also revealed from one source, but it is not 100%, so take it with a grain of salt, and here's the effect. The wielder will have their attack increased by 20% or 25% when party members consume shards via crystallized reactions. The wielder gains a sigil that increases the elemental skill damage by 18% to 22% for 15 seconds, and this effect can possibly be stacked twice, and casting the skill will consume the aforementioned sigils. So pretty much this is everything we know about Navia so far, and remember, some of these might change in the future as it usually does, but I'm sure nothing major and drastic will change about her gameplay and her value, so consider subscribing for more info and updates in the future, and there will be plenty more content on this channel, and there's plenty of existing content for you to watch, and soon we will have another Welcome Moon giveaway to show my appreciation towards you guys. And if you want to know what you need to farm for Navia to be ready for her when she comes out in 4.3, then click this video in the top right of the screen, or maybe check the other two as well. And have a good day, or night, and peace.
Ugh, that guy.